Hello, my name is Brandy. I am a yoga teacher. I specifically focus on the mental, physical, and spiritual health. I teach yoga for the benefits of spiritual, mental, and physical wellness. I'm coming to you today just to give you guys a few stretches. Just a few stretches. I usually run before I do my yoga workout, but I'm going to come to you guys today just to give you a few stretches before your yoga workout. Or before your run. So we're going to begin today just in cross-leg position. And so we're going to do just a few nice back stretches and then warm up the core just a few minutes. So what I like to do is I like to first start off just like I said, stretching out the back. So I'll place my right hand and my left hand on my right knee, to place my right hand behind me, right behind, and I'm gonna turn to the side just to give you guys an overview. So placing my left hand on my right knee, placing my right hand behind me, directly behind you, just like a kickstand, just to give yourself some lean back room. And I just like to twist, and I like to twist, and I like to tell people to twist up and around, because you want to try to keep that nice flexed back and not too hard. This doesn't need to be to the point where it's painful, and just for a few seconds, and make sure you breathe through this. And then we're going to do the opposite side and take your left hand and put it on your right knee. Take your right hand, place it behind you, and again up and around. Bringing it back around, and remember to breathe in these positions. And so we're going to take your left leg and bring your left shin parallel to the edge of your mat. If you don't have a mat, just try to make it as parallel as you possibly can. I'm going to use this part of my mat. You're going to flex your toes towards your knee. So flex your left toes towards your right knee, and remember, it's parallel as much as you possibly can, and keeping your foot flexed because you want to protect your knee. And then take your right foot, flex your toes towards your knee, and place your right heel onto your left knee. And again, it's very important to keep both of your feet flexed, because this is a intense on your knees. And if you're all the way here, that's perfectly fine. Eventually, the more you do this position, and it's called the log pose, and because it looks like your legs are logs, stacked logs. Eventually, and the more you're consistent, you'll be able to do this as much. You'll be able to bring your leg down eventually. Just stay consistent, and that's with any yoga asana, and asanas meaning postures or any poses that you would do. So again, back to where we were, flexing both feet. And this is going to work your hip flexors. So you could either lean forward and get a nice stretch, or you can lean back and kind of press your knees down and get a nice stretch. It just depends. So I like to place my hands back if I do the back and push it down, or forward. Now with forward, some people recommend you can push your knee down, but I don't recommend that. You just have to be very aware of your strength when you're pressing your knee down. So gently, because you want to feel it in your hip flexors, gently press down your right knee if your right knee's on the top, even if it's up here. But it does not need to be painful. Again, none of these postures or asanas that I'm going to be showing you in this video should be painful at all. None of them. So press down lightly if you want to get a nice stretch in that. But again, fold forward, lean back, and place your hands back to support you when you're leaning back. Forward. So it just depends on what feels good to you. You want to feel a nice stretch in your right hip flexor when the right leg's on top. You're going to take both your legs out in front of you, tapping your knees on the ground, the back of your knees on the ground. Rotate your heels around, rotate the other way. Perfect, 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 perfect. Then we're going to do the opposite side. So you're going to flex your right leg down. Flex your bring your right shin parallel to the edge of your mat, or just as parallel in front of you as you possibly can. Flexing your right toes. Bring your left toes up and flex. Bring your left heel on top of your knee. Try to keep your foot from sliding down. Okay? So flexing those toes, push your knee down. Engage your toes on both feet. Engage everything in your shin, your leg, the top of your toes. Lean forward. Lean back. Lean forward again. Alright, bring your feet out in front of you. Again, tap the back of your knees onto your mat. Flex your toes toward your face. Get a nice stretch in the back of your calves. Point your toes forward. Get a nice shin stretch. I'm going to go run. I don't know if I mentioned that. I can't remember if I mentioned that before, but I'm going to go run. So I love to get, I'm always tight. Not always, but that's where my tightness resides for me. When I finish running, I notice that the back of my shins, the front of my shins, the back of my calves, the back of my knees are always tight. So I love to get a shin stretch in when before I run. Rotate your ankles around. Alright, so I'm going to turn sideways. You don't necessarily have to turn sideways. You don't necessarily need to. We're going to do a forward fold, a good morning forward fold. So, shout out to Erica Vetra. She is the yoga instructor that I love, that I really, really love. And this is a great way to get into a forward fold correctly. So you want to bring your knees into your chest, keeping your feet on your mat. You want to flatten your chest up against your thighs. And then bring your knees in a little bit more. You want to hug your knees into your chest. So notice I have a flat back. So you want to hug your knees into your chest. And then look down at your toes. Grab the outer edges of your feet with your hands. So then you can walk your hips closer to your feet. Remember, you want a flat back. Keeping your legs together and keeping your feet together, you want to baby step your feet out into this. And remember, try to maintain that flat back. Keeping your feet together, keeping your legs together. And you might be here. Like I said, none of these poses should be uncomfortable at all or should hurt. You should just want to feel a nice stretch. So wherever you feel a nice stretch in your back, in the back of your legs, you stop there. Again, consistency with these poses and you'll be able to get your legs down. Eventually you'll be able to put like a block or a book here and stretch even more. So just like I said, consistency is the key. I would highly recommend doing these stretches at least twice a week, but you can do it as much as 4 times a week. You don't want to overexert yourself, but just be gentle with your body and listen to your body. Yoga does teach patience, and it does teaches you how to listen. So once you learn to listen to your body, you'll be able to listen to other aspects in life. Again, breathe, keep a nice flat back. You don't want to dump in, okay? You never want to dump in. So it's almost you're pushing your heart towards your toes. That is the gist of it. All right, place both of your hands down on your mat. Push up. Perfect. Relax your knees down. We're going to rotate down onto our back. Try to keep your heels down on your mat as you rotate down. Try to keep your heels down. Try to keep the back of your knees down. I'm going to scoot up so my head won't be all the way off my mat. Try not to. You can use your hands to get down, but you want to try to use your core to rotate yourself down. So again, warming up the core. Bring both of your knees into your chest once again. And you want to grab both, and we're going to grab both knees with our hands, and we're going to rotate your knees around. So let's rotate around clockwise first. Then counterclockwise. Again, waking up the core, stretching our hip flexors. If you will, relax your right leg down onto your mat. Grab your left knee with both hands. Bring your knee back into your chest and rotate just your left knee clockwise a few times and then counterclockwise. Notice I'm really focusing on the legs. I just like to get a nice stretch in the lower back before I run. Take the inside of your left foot, place it on the inside of your right knee. Relax your left hand down beside you, out and down beside you. Take your right hand, place it on your left knee, on the outside of your left knee, and then you're just going to rotate your left knee up and across your body. You can use some of your weight in your right hand to push your left knee down, but as you breathe, when you inhale, it'll bring your left knee up, and then exhale, you'll relax down a little bit more. And again, and this is going to be something that I say a lot, but with consistency, your left knee or your knee will come closer and closer to the ground. This is a great lower back stretch. And as you breathe, take your glance over to the left, toward your left hand. You should feel a nice stretching the lower back and the outside of your left hip. When you're ready, release your right hand from your left knee. Inhale your knee up and across your body. Exhale, bring your left leg down. Inhale your right knee into your chest. You're going to take both of your hands, grab your right knee, bring your right knee in, rotate your right knee clockwise, and then counterclockwise. Relaxing your right hand down beside you, take your left hand, place it on the outside of your right knee, place the inside of your foot inside of your right knee, up and across. The same thing for the other side. Look over to your right, breathe. Alright, release your hand from your knee. Bring your knee up. This time, keep your right knee bent. Grab behind your knee with both hands. Straighten your right leg and flex your toes toward your face. Your knee might be bent here. Again, none of this should be painful. So flex your leg as much as you possibly can. Take both of your hands behind your head and bring your attention to your left foot, your left feet, and flex your left toes toward your face as well. Raise your head up off of your mat, your shoulders up off of your mat, but you want to keep your head heavy in your hands because you want to use your shoulders, the top of your shoulders, to bring your head up off of your mat, not the front of your neck. So you don't want to be pulling, you want your head relaxed, but you're using, it's going to feel like it's your shoulders, but you're using a lot of your core to keep your head up off of your mat. Bring your navel down into your spine, and as you inhale, flexing both toes, you want to raise your left leg up to meet your right. So inhale it all up, and again, bring your navel down towards your spine. You're using a lot of your core to raise your leg and raise your head up off of your mat. Exhale your right leg down when you're ready. Keeping those toes flexed. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale your left leg down. Keep those toes flexed. Keep that core engaged. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale your left leg down. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale your right leg down. Stay here, but inhale. Exhale your left leg down. Keeping your head up off of your mat, take an inhale. Exhale your head down. Okay, bring both your feet onto your mat. When you're ready, I want you to bring both your hands down beside you, and you want to bring your feet close to the tip of your fingers. That's the goal. Your feet may not touch your fingers. The back of your heel may not touch your finger, but that's the goal you want to go to. You want to bring your hands, and bring your knees about hip width distance apart. I like to use my fists, both of my fists, and place them between my knees, and that's about hip width distance apart if you just don't know. But that's a good guesstimation of where, what is hip width distance for you. So you bring your feet down, soles of your feet on your mat. Again, the heels of your feet want to meet your fingertips if they can. We're going to do a nice back bend. We're going to work into bridge pose. So using your hands, press your hands down into your mat and bring your hips up off of your mat. This bridge pose, you want to try not to use your glutes. So in order to not use your glutes, walk your feet in a little bit closer. and push up again. So you want to use the tops of your thighs to kind of raise. You're going to use your glutes, but the goal is not to. So try to mentally stay conscious of not using your glutes to lift yourself off your mat. So again, push up. Try not to splay your legs out. If you can, kind of keep your legs active by bringing them in. You don't want them to touch, but just keeping them active. If you can stay here, but if you can rotate your shoulder blades up underneath your body and grab both hands underneath you to get. And in this pose, in bridge pose, press the back of your head into your mat. Try not to look left or right into this pose. I should have mentioned that first. When you're ready, release your hands, release your shoulder blades. Try to rotate down one vertebrae at a time from your neck going down. One vertebrae at a time. Good job. Good job. Good job. Bringing your knees into your chest. We're going to work into happy baby pose. Keeping the insides of your feet together. Spread your knees wide. Take your hands and bring them in between your knees. Grab the outer edge of your feet. Spread your feet wide. So the soles of your feet will be at the ceiling. You're going to use your tailbone and rotate your tailbone down into your mat, and then rotate your shoulder blades down into your mat. Another hip flexor, another nice stretch in your hip flexors. If this is good for you, you stay here. You can either A, rock side to side, or B, you can take your 2 peace fingers and wrap them around your big toe. Open up your legs and stretch them out. And for B, what I like to mention is you don't want to flex out here. I like to bring my knees in, straighten my legs as much as I possibly can, and then stretch. Okay? Then stretch. Because if you're stretching from here, you're stretching a lot on the inside of your legs, and it's pretty tight. Especially if you're doing this before you work out, which you can do these stretches at any time. But stretch your legs out in front of you and then stretch. There you go. And then you can rock here as well. Keeping your knees bent as much as you need to. Eventually they'll become straight the more you do these. If that's something you want to work toward. Bringing your feet back together, bending your knees, releasing your toe. We're going to rock our way into a seated position. It doesn't matter how many times it takes you to rock up, but just rock. It might take you 4 times. Take tiny rocks to get yourself up into a seated position. If you will, flip over into downward facing dog. So you can just take your hands and knees onto your mat, scoot back. I'm pretty close to my bookshelf. In downward facing dog, I would like for you to try and always be conscious of your hands. A lot of yoga poses are very wrist heavy, and so you want to protect your wrists at all costs. And in order to do that, spread your fingers as wide as you possibly can on your mat, and your index needs to be parallel to the edges of your mat, or parallel as much as they possibly can. Flatten every part of your finger joints into your mat, and you want to energetically bring that energy between your hands. So it's almost like you're pulling that weight in between you. So again, all of your weight, especially in between your fingers and thumbs, you want to bring a lot of weight in between your index finger and your thumb. A lot of weight there, because you're lifting that outer part of your wrist. Like I said, protecting your wrist. So you always, it feels weird if this is something that you're first beginning, but with consistency, it will never not feel weird, but you'll get used to the weird feeling. You'll know. So we're going to take a couple cow poses. On your exhale, rotate your head down, your tailbone down. And you're going to arch your back like an angry cat. Inhale, your tailbone up, head up. Exhale, back down into cat pose. Inhale, your head up. Tailbone up. Exhale, cat pose. I'm sorry. Back to neutral position where you started. When you're ready, bring your left knee in between both of your hands, and you want to place your foot down in between your hands. You can lift your hand up to get your foot there. Stretch your right knee back behind you as far as you can. So walk your knee back, hop your knee back as far as you can. You're going to use both of your hands. Push your chest up off of your mat. Flex into your right knee. Or let's go with the opposite so I can show you. So you want to flex your glutes. Dip down and rotate your tailbone in. So you're flexing into your glute a lot. Use your big toe and press down into your big toe in your front foot. Press into the top of your big toe in your left foot. When you're ready, inhale your arms out and up above your head, palms touching. And then separate your hands. Rotate your pinky fingers in. Bring your shoulder blades away from your ears. But you, in that same instance, you're keeping a lot in mind. So again, tightening your glute. You want to raise the bottom of your rib cage away from your hips, but actively bringing your shoulders down away from your ears. Okay? If you can lean back a little bit, but again, bring your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Okay? Inhale yourself up if you were leaning back. Bring your hands down around your foot. When you're ready, walk your heel toe and stretch your foot as far as you can in front of you to straighten your right leg. This time what I would like for you to do is, again, just like when we were in forward fold, you want to forward fold with your chest into your toes. And again, this is going to be a nice stretch in your calf, behind your knee, and we're going to work into a shin stretch. So if you need to bend your knee a lot to get your hands on your mat, that's perfectly fine. Consistency is the key. Okay? So flexing your toes towards your face, your heart towards your toes, get a nice stretch in the back of your knee, and then flex your toes forward. Get a nice shin stretch and forward fold even a little bit more. When you're ready, bend back into your right leg, bring your heel back, and we're just going to go back into hands and knees and do the opposite side. We've done a lot of hip flexor stretches already, so let's do the opposite side. Same thing. Bring your left knee up, walk your right knee back, flex into your glute, push up your chest up off of your left knee, flex into your glute. Perfect. Press into your left toe. Press into the top of your right toe. Inhale your hands up. Rotate your pinky fingers in. Pull your shoulder blades away from your ears, but actively bringing your rib cage away from your hips. Lean back if you can. Forward fold. Bring your hand back down. Heel toe. Your foot back in front of you. Placing both your hands on your mat. Remember, bend your knee if you need to. Flexing your toes towards your face. Heart towards your toes. So don't want to dump in. Heart towards your toes. Flex your toes forward. Good job. Alright. Bend back into your left knee. Hands and knees. Where are we going to go from here? And then we're going to work into, I can't remember, it's a camel pose. So you're going to raise up, you're going to stay on your knees, but bring your hands up off of your mat. Bring your knees about hip width distance apart. I like to use my fists. That's just my measurement. And come back up off. Place your hands behind your back. So you want your hands to be like you have on some high waist jeans and you're putting your hands in your pocket. So it's going to be the nice lower back part of your back. Bring your elbows in between your shoulder blades. You want to pretend like you have a pencil and you're trying to grip that pencil between your shoulder blades. So you're sticking your chest out a lot. Here with your your knees with hip width distance apart. You want to bend. You want to bring your hips forward, but not too forward where you're off balance, just enough where you're in balance. You want to walk your hands down your back. Lean your head back. And then if you can, if you've reached your calves, walk your hands back toward your heels. Okay? If you can. If not, if you're stuck here, perfect. If you're stuck here, perfect. If you're here, perfect. Again, consistency. And that's with anything in life. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Wherever you are, reverse walk yourself back up. Don't just sit up. Reverse walk yourself back up. So ease yourself, your head back up. Okay? Come down, back on hands and knees. Sweep your feet out and around. Back into cross-leg position. We're going to do one more hip flexor and we'll work into Savasana. So cross-leg position. What I would like for you to do, take both of your hands and place them behind you. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Heels up. And as you bring your legs back down, cross in the opposite direction. So if you started off with the right leg on top, you want the right leg on the bottom. Come back. Opposite leg. Up and out. And eventually, you'll be able to do it without using your hands as support. Eventually, unless you can do it now, you can try it. This is a good hip flexor, but it's also massaging that sacrum, getting in touch with your sacrum. Last one. And then take both of your legs out in front of you. Rotate back down onto your back. Keeping your heels on your mat if you can, using your core to rotate yourself down into Savasana. So take both heels to the outer edges of the corners of your mat. Palm facing the ceiling, down, Savasana.